Valuable takeaway will be really that it's an action plan, right? You can kind of have all this stuff conceptually in your mind and have an idea of where you want to go, but there's actually work that's required for that next step to happen, and that you actually have to carve out the time for that work, right? To formulate it, come up with a plan. Like there's steps that you can put in place to actually get to that next level. And then I'll just say the other key takeaway that I had from the last session was really that you're not following anyone else's path. It really is like your vision to create, but that means you've got to find the creative space and time to come up with the plan.
My most valuable takeaway is just kind of recognizing the value of your personal brand, taking the time to actually craft that in a very intentional, meaningful, time-driven way, and then sharing it broadly.
I think number one is we need to know who we are as women, especially women of color. Mm-hmm. And we need to trust that we know who we are, right? So number one, we have to be comfortable in our own skin. And then, that comes with being your true authentic self and not being afraid to be that true authentic self.
I would definitely say just the intentionality and the action and finding the voice. I have definitely been a lot more direct in what I'm looking for and what I need, and making sure I'm at the table and in the room and being able to speak at those meetings and provide my feedback and my thoughts. And as a result, I definitely feel like I've been invited to more tables and
just to see the growth from the beginning of the program to kind of the end was really eye-opening. And by using the ELI assessment, really understanding the types of managers that I need based on how I show up and what my energetic profile looks like, as well as how I can really manage my stress. Learning things that no is a powerful sentence and that it's okay to check in with myself. I don't have to take on everything, and I can really align with what I want to do and how it's helping me or not helping me.
Even the kind of forum and the energy we have in these meetings, I feel like just being able to bring up things that are not working for you, sharing it with a group of people that you trust, and getting their opinions to help you. You're not alone in this. This is something that you can do as a group, and you can tap into your network as we're tapping into here, but also in your own company. If you have a network of people that you can share and get ideas, I think that's something that is also, I would never do that before, so that's something that I would also have started doing.
One aspect of the GLA program that I've been able to put into practice was the style flexing, and I think that has been integral in helping me to navigate the different personalities in different areas, different functional areas, as well as really understanding how our different personalities from the DISC analysis, for example, and understanding how other people may need to be communicated.
So sometimes I would be reserved, may not necessarily share. So kind of be more in the background, and so being much more outspoken, whether it's a meeting, in any, situation with all levels, where before potentially I would have been a lot more reserved or just had maybe some not negative thoughts, but just maybe didn't know what the outcomes would be in certain situations. And so I would hold back.
I'll say for me, it's really been the way that I'm showing up. When I started off the program, I was at one company and now I'm at a different one. But that process of really, interviewing, being my authentic self, being very clear with what I was looking for in this next phase, what my passions were around DEI, the way I negotiated, I would have never negotiated before, and I got so many things that I asked for. And then, as I said before, the networking that I'm doing to ensure that I'm creating that strategic team of individuals across various departments who are in alignment with me and can advocate for me in the future, as well as give me growth.
What I wanted to share as being very influential for me from this program is the energy, leadership, index, the ELI, as being really a powerful tool to understand how I naturally react and what are the sources of energy and what can I do with that energy to move from reacting in the moment and perhaps not saying things that in the long term I'd want to say, to instead thinking about the energy that comes forth. What are those situations that cause me to have this type of response? And what is the long-term effect that I'd like to be able to have?
About 2 weeks ago, I got promoted from a scientific director to a senior scientific director. And part of the thing that was so exciting about it was I do feel like it was a direct consequence of the skills and some of the activities that I learned as a part of this cohort. So
Through WOCIP, I was able to not only really define and outline my goals, but I was able to define them in a way that I can bring to my leadership team and have them get on board with my vision as well. And I can say most of the ladies in our cohort have gotten promotions this year. It's exceeded my expectations. I started out in the program feeling like I was afraid to use my voice. I've been told no too many times, and I felt like I had the confidence. I saw representation. I saw other really brilliant women, women of color, just taking up space, being brilliant, showing up every day, and that gave me courage. That allowed me just to turn the shine on within myself.
Like you said, it's wisdom. This is something that doesn't go away. It's not something that only happens for a moment in time. I know for myself, I've experienced 3 different career shifts and changes that I never saw. And every time I made that shift and change, it has been nothing but rewarding and reinforced this is where you're supposed to be. I don't know where the end will be at the end of the day, but I do know I'm getting closer and closer and closer, because every time I listen to myself, I experience even more.